Hey yo, what's up, Backcourt family? It's your boy Ryan Escobar. Want to welcome you all to a special edition of the Backcourt. Everybody's dealing with quarantine right now, social distancing, physical distancing, all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to make sure that we were still talking to all our hoopers around the world, checking in with them, still sharing stories, still talking about the game, even though we can't play it right now. So want to thank you all for checking us out. Make sure you keep subscribing. Hit subscribe on YouTube for us. And yeah, man. Love you guys. Keep supporting. Hope everybody stays safe. It's the backcourt. Peace. Yo, bro. How you been doing, man? It's quarantine.
Man, it's just been working, bro.
Yeah. You got
Trying to live like a professional athlete. Now I'm just looking at it like, damn, it's like lifting weights.
yeah, man. I
But
just
that was as bad as it get.
yeah, man. I've been lucky enough to have a couple conversations with Scoop Jackson lately. I'm announced we got some more coming up soon or whatever. So, that's gonna be dope. We talked a little Kobe, Tim Duncan. What'd you think about when he was talking about that he think Kobe should get his own ceremony?
Um, I you know I love Kobe,
Mm-hmm.
and this is an extenuating circumstance. Like they said, he mentioned that Clemente, they did that for him. With
Right.
baseball, so many more people get into the Hall of Fame. It seemed like. I don't know. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it's just saying it's so many more players. You know what I'm saying? So like,
True. Yeah, basketball we only let in. It's only 8 people that come go into it a
it
year.
might be the same percentage wise, but you know what I'm saying. But it's not
Yeah.
like you know.
And
So
it's the basketball Hall of Fame too. It ain't just the NBA Hall of Fame.
and the class was already decided.
Mm-hmm.
And these are also first ballot Hall of Famers, and that's my ultimate no. Not because I wouldn't want to like honor Kobe, but
Mm-hmm.
because this is a special class. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like they first ballot Hall of Famer. You can't make KG and Tim Duncan be second ballot Hall of Famers for Kobe.
Yeah, I think that they would still be first ballot. I think maybe he just was saying that Kobe might deserve a different ceremony, which I can't be mad at. Like if the
I think he deserves a considerable part and a very special extension to this part of the ceremony. And because I want to see Tim Duncan gonna get up there, they gonna cry and shit. Like I
I
want to
think
see that. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
think that I think they should start it with Kobe. I think they should go ahead and get the crying, just get that,
yeah,
get it
yeah,
out the way.
yeah, and then we go celebrate
We
the
here
rest
for
of the night
Kobe.
for
You know what I'm
Kobe.
saying? We starting off with Kobe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because everybody, we got to cry, we got to get it out again. You know, since Kobe, it's
yeah,
gonna hurt whenever the season do start back. Like maybe I'm feeling like it's next year now. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it's gonna be weird. You know what I'm saying? Moment of silence. Everybody having their patch for Kobe and shit. Like that's a part of the league now. It has to become a part of the infrastructure of the league. I think what
February
it,
24th every year they should do like Jackie Robinson.
like Jackie Robinson. That's
Yeah, everybody wore
everybody
22.
24. Or one team wore 24, the other team
Yeah,
wore 8 or some shit like that.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool. But I mean,
that's cool. Kobe worth it.
yeah, I'm not against that. But I think more institutional shit, like what they did with the award for the finals or not the playoff MVP award. Like
Hmm.
Kobe needs an award. That is
Yeah,
that is in honor of him, but he also need like a Black Mamba award. You know what I'm saying? Like how you do the
yeah.
Naismith.
You need the Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, like that should be a thing. Or
They should create one. They should create. Even though I know his whole thing wasn't scoring titles per se, but they should create a scoring title, and you get the Kobe Bryant Award when you win the scoring title. That'd
yeah,
be tight.
and there might be other ideas that you could think of. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in my Chris Paul bag right now, but they could come together. They could like think of something that's gonna really make a difference in how we go forward as a basketball community. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, let me see Woods. Send me his name. Thank everybody for watching. It's like our first. It's like a little live episode. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little whole new vibe for us. You know.
Yeah, man. We got to. The life has changed, man. That quick. Like we've been going through a lot with this show. Like
Yeah,
but
life has changed, bro. Let's try to add. It's two Ron. Let's try to add this. We just cold calling this first person. What if they answering is somebody different?
Like Tiger King answer or some shit. Somebody random like that. A Florida man answer.
Yo, remember in high school, we had that one random dude call me that one time.
Oh yeah. Is that still on Facebook, bro? YouTube?
I think so.
Like,
Seawood.
What up, y'all? What up, man?
What's up,
We'll put
man?
these headphones in.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody need a haircut on this one.
Yes, man. How y'all doing?
I'm blessed.
All right, man. Don't judge my porno mustache, dog. I gotta wear this because I gotta wear that mask at work.
I was thinking about it, bro, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. I'm glad you got that out the way.
Bro, I had to shave because you got over there N95. You can't have like beards or nothing. It's gotta fit real tight. And so that's why I said, please don't post this as a video, bro, because I'm not trying to go out like this.
Too late, man.
It's all good.
It's the video. You the first video interview.
At least you got the stash. If you didn't
Oh
it's
my
fitting,
god,
though.
bro. Oh my god.
It's fitting because you a doctor, though.
Yeah, this our first episode post like COVID. You know what I'm saying? So like, you might have to have a dissertation or something at the end.
Yeah, man. How's it been being in the medical field during the biggest world pandemic? Almost.
Well, I mean, it's not bad for me, man, because I'm in rehab, so my specialty is physical medicine and rehabilitation, and so basically rehab. So we don't really see those patients right now. There are areas in the country where the virus is real bad, and so they've like deployed people to other areas, like their non-specialty areas, to do other stuff that's needed. But right now, you know, Minnesota has some of the lowest cases in the country per million, so
that's what's up.
We blessed right now, man.
I hear a lot of good things about Minneapolis. Did I say it right?
You say what, Chanel?
I hear a lot of good things about Minneapolis. I don't know if I said it right. I'll be messing it up.
Minneapolis. Yeah, man, it's cool. I stayed up there for like a month. I had a little they sent me up there to do a rotation in the sports medicine clinic, which was pretty dope. But Minneapolis is dope, man. It's just not a lot of us up there. But it's a lot to do.
He doesn't mean doctors. He means black people.
Right. Gotta be politically correct. We could say it. Ain't no niggas up there.
There's not a lot of us up there.
Yeah, that's real. We from a real black place too, so like when you go somewhere that's like overly white, it's like we actually like it's more of us here than them. You know what I'm saying? And that's rare in this country. So
yeah,
that's true. Like Minnesota, I think that's the biggest adjustment beyond the cold. And when I say cold, like you've never experienced cold, like you know that what's that Lil Yachty song where he's like cold like Minnesota? There's nothing that's cold like Minnesota.
That was a good reference.
2 years ago, it got to like negative 67 or 65 with the wind chill.
How cold was it in Chicago that one? Negative 30?
Yeah, we had the polar vortex when it was like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, with Chicago up north too. That's the difference. It was like, oh, this is up north. This is what people mean when they like, oh, you live up north. Like,
yeah, we from the south. We from the south.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, St. Louis is in the south, man. When you like, cause like it snowed yesterday.
It snowed. It snowed in Chicago like 2 days ago. It legit. Yeah, it was like flurries.
Thursday. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Right? You say what?
They got heated tunnels.
Yeah, so like in Minneapolis, you can get around a lot of downtown without going outside. So they got the Skyway that you can like navigate. Here we got a Skyway, and then we got like a subway. We call it a subway, but it's basically underground tunnels that have like carpet and air conditioning, heated, like essentially cooled and everything like that. But you can like get basically anywhere downtown once you park in the parking garage without going outside. So you can get from the Civic Center to the hospital without having to go outside.
Okay.
That's
cool. I respect that ingenuity. That's real civilization right there.
Yeah.
You got to do that when it get that cold outside, man.
Yeah, bro. Well, we got Charonn Woods on the show right now. You know, for everybody that's didn't read the title, don't know what's going on. Dr. Woods. Let me start that over. Dr.
Doctor.
Charonn Woods. You're the first
Doctor.
doctor,
Please say the doctor.
and you're the first person to officially play with the backcourt too. You're our first guest to actually play with.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We made history at Metro, man. Metro is not a basketball school, but we made history while we were there.
Yeah, man. So tell the people, you know what I mean, when did you fall in love with the game? How did it start for you?
Well, man, anybody that knows me knows my dad. Like you can't say basketball and Charles Woods. You can't say that without Charles Woods in St. Louis. It's especially at the youth level. And so I would say, man, shoot, Ryan, you were there. Shoot, we 4 years old, 3 years old, running around in Matthews Dickey before they had the wood on the floor, so it was tile downstairs. They had tile on the floor.
Hoops.
Way back when I used to have to get the little thing to lower the hoop down and plug it in the wall. So I mean, man, way back. So that's really when I fell in love with it. And I mean, growing up, I played like 3 sports. I played baseball, football. My dad was, all state in football, went to Arizona State for football. So I was trying to do the football thing, but I didn't like it as much as I like basketball. So around like 12 years old, about middle school, I was just like, I'm just going to play basketball, man. That's all I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
If you didn't play football, you might have got CTE or something.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, cause in rehab, in PM&R is what it's called for short. We see a lot of different types of injuries. One thing we specialize in is treating spinal cord injuries. And so, if you remember the guy from Rutgers, or like the Superman, what's his name? Christopher Reeves or something like that, right? He had a spinal cord injury. The guy from
Christopher Reeves. Yeah.
Christopher Reeves, spinal cord injury.
Didn't the dude
man, so it's
just had that?
Yeah, so he had a spinal cord injury, and there's various levels of like severity. So the guy from the Steelers has a less severe injury than Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves, a complete injury, meaning, not to get too technical, but he can't walk essentially. He has no function below his neck.
Right.
And so, it's various levels. So, that's one thing in football that probably scares me the most when I see guys go out there and tackle besides the CTE stuff. So, yeah, man, a lot of injuries associated with playing football.
Yeah, man. So tell me, like you said, you kind of in middle school, you decided that, this is you finna hoop for real. That's when you usually decide like you going all in or not. But like when you first didn't start off at Metro, you started off at Berkeley, right? Or McClure, what's it?
Yeah.
McClure
South Berkeley. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I went to Berkeley Middle because I was at Guadalupe, and that's like a small Catholic school down there, right across the street from McClure South Berkeley. Like literally right across the street, but Berkeley wasn't built at the time. So I went there and we were successful there, won some games, some championships. They had the city county leagues and stuff like that. We won a city county championship, which was big time, got a newspaper and all that stuff. And so after that, I went to public school because it was cheap. It's free. So I went there, ended up going to Berkeley. And that incoming class that we had at Berkeley was nice, man. Like it was me, Chicken, Antonio, and Reggie, and Abel, Big Abel. And that's 4 freshmen that came into Berkeley. And when I went to Berkeley, man, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to make varsity. And so at the time, because that's how confident I was. But Berkeley was good, man.
Was Gerald there yet?
Yeah, so Dink was there. He was the coach. He was the head coach. And so I used to go to all the open gyms. And I remember they was trying to get Femi to go there, but I think Femi ended up going to McClure North, but he showed up to a couple open gyms. So those open gyms used to crack. I remember they said, oh man, Coach Dink, he don't let guys have long hair. So I had braids and everything in middle school. So I'm like, oh man, I'm about to cut my hair. I'm about to make this team. I made the practice squad on varsity. And that was about it. I played JV. Our JV team was nice though. We won some games, beat some teams. So
I feel like I actually see you play JV. I feel like I seen you actually play a JV game your freshman year. I don't know. I can't think of what game, but I feel like I seen you actually play JV.
Man, we had we had some good JV games because that's the district with McClure North.
Up there.
And so we played McClure North as freshmen, and they had all them guys play JV and varsity. Right. And so them games, and those are like rivalries, you know what I mean? Because Metro, we don't have a gym, so it's not, you can't really pack in your students after school. They got to come to the games.
Right.
But at Berkeley, like we would play Normandy games, go crazy. Yeah. My guy Ant James is over there. They made him play JV his freshman year. He ended up being like second leading scorer all time at Normandy, man. But it was good, starting off like that. But I needed a challenge academically, so that's kind of why I left McClure South.
I mean, you played on one of the best. Looking back on it, one of the best youth teams probably of all time in St. Louis. Like, what is it?
Hey,
like
I'm not gonna stunt, man. Like, that was crazy. I was trying to remember who all was on that 8th grade team.
Woods was cheating.
But
it was you.
We had a lot of players, man.
Don Hobbs,
Jared Swopeshire, LaDon Champagny,
and James Drew.
And James. We had Maurice, who was also the starting guard at Normandy. We had Marcel. We had Randall. We had so many players, man. I'm probably leaving some people off. We had so many players, man. I think we ended up going down to AAU with like almost 15 people. It was a lot of players. But when you talk about, successful teams, I don't think that year we lost in St. Louis, man. Like, we were just we had a really loaded team. And a lot of those guys went on to be very successful, both at the collegiate level, guys playing professionally. And in high school in St. Louis, a lot of those guys set records in their high school, some of the best players that ever came through there. So, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So what was that transition like to go from, like you said, Berkeley, which had like I'll say like a real respected coach, you know what I mean? He was a legend during his time, went on to coach and stuff like that. And now you going into like the unknown, you know what I'm saying? Coming down on McPherson, you know what I mean? Metro. What was that like for you?
Like I know like for Minnesota, probably in a way. Wasn't no black.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy because like Berkeley, we weren't like a powerhouse, but we won games. And so looking at Metro, Metro had no history of winning at all. Like no PHL wins in like anybody recent history. Nobody could remember the last time somebody had won at Metro in the PHL. And so kind of going into that environment, I really didn't know what to expect. I know during that summer I was trying to recruit Hobbs to come over. Because Hobbs is smart, man.
I remember
cold. And so I was like, man, if I could get like him over there, like we would, because Metro was 2A at the time.
Oh, we would have.
Oh man,
that was state. Yeah,
man, we would have won state because we was a game away from winning district. So actually, it was
a shot.
It'd have been us and Wellston. We would have probably met them in like sectionals or something like that. But so yeah, I thought that we needed that one more person because Jordan was over there, Jordan Lovelace, and Jordan was always great defensively, stout down in the post. And I was like, man, if we just get like another guard, we got 3 players that could go. So to answer your question, going into Metro, man, I didn't have high expectations at all, man. I was like, we're gonna see what happens. I did not have high expectations.
Yeah, it was.
Dang, bro.
It was hard. It was different.
It was.
I tell people all the time, it's a hard thing to like kind of like simulate for people or get them to wrap their mind around. But I tell them like now in hindsight, 100% for sure, we could have played at your school, but you could not have played at our school. And that's a weird thing. But 100%.
Yeah, we was competitive guys, and like we were all used to growing up, like you said, winning. I was on teams where I wasn't losing that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless I went out of town or did something, so we wasn't the type of players that would really go to a Metro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially for how we grew up hooping. So the fact that we all decided to go there, it was like, unheard of. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a different culture. You know, it was definitely a culture shock to kind of go in there and lose so much, especially my sophomore year. We were not above 500, even close to it. It was, but when we made it, I mean, but at that same time, we made it further than any team in that school's history has ever made it on the boys' side, which is a district championship game, lost on a buzzer beater, final shot. So
Yeah.
that was crazy.
A free throw line violation and a buzzer beater.
And a buzzer, something out of the movies. You know, and I look back at it, I'm like, man, this is like Coach Carter almost. Like I always run that season back because it was like I transferred in, you know, coach's son, whatever, transfers in. Then you got a guy who quit, and Richard, he quit, came back.
The best street ball player ever. Best street ball player ever quit the team.
Quit the team, man. Senior year, he quit the team in his senior year. One of the best players on the team quits, and so it's just crazy. Then we make that run in the districts and almost win it. Should have won it. I still can't believe we lost that game, but you know, it's water under the bridge now.
Yeah, no, it was a learning lesson. It was good to play in for sure.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just, you know, people been talking about Metro a lot because I came across the all-time leading scores or whatever, and we all kind of got to talking or whatever. So for our Metro guys, before we move on to your college career, I feel like I know you personally. I feel like one of the best players I ever played with. You know what I'm saying? How did you feel about your career when you look back? Because they disrespected us like a lot, in my opinion, individually.
Yeah. You know, I'm not like a real prideful dude, so I think personally, my career, I think is probably one of the best, you know, at that school. I mean, you look back at when you think about individual accolades. I mean, I know people like Tier's had led, you know, the conference and scoring for, and so that was cool. I mean, I did that too, but I also led it in steals. You know, it was up there in assists. I think I led it in assists one year, probably like my junior year or someone like that. And I mean, probably got the most wins. I don't know, probably because, like I said, there was a lot of losing going on before I got there. But I don't know. You and Ryan, y'all probably won more games collectively because y'all were there when it turned around.
I might end up edging out to Nell because I had to end up. I think our senior year team might have been like a couple game difference between y'all's. I think to Nell's.
Yeah, but I mean,
y'all left, man. I ain't gonna fake it. It was like. Sophomore year was fun because it was like it's the first time I really got to play with you on like a regular basis, like, and we beat CA by 20. I never forget that moment.
Oh man, that was a crazy moment, man, because they had a good team. They had Jerome Jones who ended up going to like Missouri
next
State.
Year they went to state.
They won state next year. We lost to a lot of state champions. We played tough.
Whoa, they won state. They went to state the next year.
Yeah,
my senior year, Jerome, Jacob.
One time on Gateway or something like.
Yeah, they went to state, bro. That was a state team.
We also lost to Maplewood, which was a dynasty at the time. A lot of people don't realize, you know.
Maplewood. I'm gonna come back to that topic, but I'm mad that they put us in that district because that district was loaded. That district was loaded. That district was loaded. But yeah, that CA. I remember that game, man, because we was up by like 17 and the clock was running out. And I shot that 3, and I remember somebody was like, "Man, why you shooting?" I'm like, "Dude, they've been blowing us out for decades."
I passed it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was like, ball, and I was like, shit, fuck it. And you pulled up and hit a 3 at the buzzer, bro. That was a good feeling, bro. On that court, you know, that was crazy.
Yeah. That was crazy. Oh, it froze a little bit. Is it froze for you?
It ain't froze for me. I think C Woods froze.
Dog.
That
wasn't. I mean, we played them. What? Then we played them once. My senior year, I think we played them in the districts, and I mean, they just had a great team, man. They had great guards, really good guard play.
Yeah,
Maplewood. Yeah.
Brian Allen. I tell a lot of people like that's the toughest player I ever played, bro. And I feel like I was a pretty good defender. I prided myself on defense. And dude was raw. Like I think if he Huh? What'd you say?
I was about to say him,
Right.
Brighton,
Right.
Travis. Don't forget
30 on that.
Travis.
I forgot Travis.
Yeah, Travis was over there too. Travis was my class because I grew up playing with Travis on Suge team, and so I mean they had a great backcourt. I think Lil Les ended up going over there. I mean they had a lot, man. They had a lot of talent over there.
And
I mean they went back-to-back state finals.
Corey Bryant was doing his thing, like for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean Corey is a guard whisperer, man, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he had all those guys. I think the biggest thing that I took away from watching them do his play is the confidence he gave them guys to go. Because I don't know if y'all remember, what was the guy? Was it Torrey King? Was that his name?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what happened to that guy.
30 at Matthew Dickey in the second half.
Yeah,
listen, when I say I've never seen somebody score so like it was effortless. I've never seen nothing like that, man. He would just come across half court and shoot that thing from like NBA range.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
And Corey wouldn't say nothing. He would like keep going. Like they beat us, I think my sophomore year by like almost 30, 40 points, bro. It was pretty ugly.
And it was close. I remember it was close at halftime because he hadn't started shooting for real. So it was like, oh, okay, we down like maybe 10 or so. Okay, here we go. He got to let that bitch fly. It was different.
Hey, that dude, I don't know what happened to him, man. I know he had a little brother that ended up going to Maplewood, but that dude, probably one of the best scorers in high school I've ever seen. Like that guy could go.
Yeah, he was good.
Who was one of the best scorers I seen in my time in high school? But shit, BA did average like 28, like a couple years in a row, 29.
Yeah.
I felt like he was the best player in the state. For him to not.
I mean,
my senior year,
it's
in 09, like who
09 he was. In 09 he was. They gave it to Michael Dixon, and I played against Michael Dixon when he was at Mizzou, and Brian Allen was better than him at Maplewood. I never played against Brian Allen when he went to Minnesota, but Brian Allen was better than him, bro. I don't care.
That them beat Marcus Demon his junior year.
He beat them in his junior year.
And Demon better than Dixon by a decent amount.
Right. So, yeah, that was different. But what I will say, I mean, I don't think I'm biased by this, but I think that for the winning, like you said, all the shit that you did in Metro, you're the best player.
Yeah, I would take that.
You had the most complete career.
And then I will say too, I mean, you took it the furthest.
Yeah.
You played at Duke. You know what I'm saying? Like let's not act like that's not a real thing.
You legitimize that as like a thing. Like you ended you know what I mean? Because I would say you and Jordan, like I said, since Jordan was there first, he was there before all of us, kinda. You know what I mean? He was like took them last ass whoopings real hard. And then it was like you came and it was like, okay, oh wait, y'all was the ones that was gonna set it different. Then I was there it was like the cast, but it was like y'all was leading it. Travion, like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all was the best athletes, I would say, as a group. So
bro. I gotta shout you out. Like at being as a man now, your discipline that you had as a child. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if that's just naturally how you are, or your dad, your mom, shout out to them or whatever, but like academically, Metro was like harder than most people college experience in real life.
Hey, no cap, for real. That's true.
And doing that on a high level, you know what I'm saying? So I seen you studying this, so I was like, damn, like,
oh yeah,
Charonn really doing this. So
that all started when I was a kid, man. Like I remember, I would be at home. My parents would be like, look, man, you can't, do X, Y, and Z until you get this work done. And they used to give me like money and stuff like, oh, you get an A, you get this money. And then eventually it just became a habit. It just became self-discipline. It just became something that I wanted to do. Anything less than, A, was frustrating for me. And so I just kind of carried that through, high school. Like you said, Metro, the academics is rigorous. I mean, when we were there, that was top in the nation.
Yeah, top.
I'm quite sure it still is. And it was number one in the state, and as far as public schools go. So I mean, it was the best school to be in, and so that's a different thing I think about when you talk about athletics, and then you talk about academics. And I think, like you said, not everybody could play at that school because they probably couldn't stay eligible. That's the biggest thing. I mean, we at magnet school, we could have recruited anywhere in the city, but just because you can don't mean that the guy's gonna come there and be successful, because not everybody can. Dog, it was college. That's college level stuff. Like the stuff that we were learning in biology class was stuff I was learning in biology class at Bradley. And so my freshman year at Bradley, I'm giving answers. They like, how you know all this? I'm like, man, I learned this in high school, man. And so that's how far ahead that school was academically. But I mean, it really prepared me. It took me a step further. So when I got to college, man, I had the same discipline. So while we flying on the plane, I'm studying. You know what I'm saying? While we on the bus, I'm doing stuff. I'm taking tests in offices where everybody else has already took their test. So I'm already got all that discipline. I graduated with a 4.0 from Bradley and playing ball.
So
just because of the discipline, man.
How did you end up at Bradley? How was that? Like, how was your like, making that decision? Because I'm sure, did you get recruited somewhere? I'm sure you got some recruitment somewhere.
So it's kind of crazy story, man. Not many people know, man. I quit playing basketball after my senior year in Metro. Like, after we lost that district game to Maplewood, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a pro at this. Like, I'm just going to concentrate on school, whatever. And, people's in there like, bro, you crazy. You cannot quit playing basketball. You're too good. You can't quit. And so I started talking to my friends. I got to shout out LaDon Champagny. That's my guy, man. He coaches over right now at the Bird. But we was talking. I was like, man, all right, these are the schools I'm looking at because what my major wanted to be. So I was looking at SLU. I was looking at Marquette. I was looking at Bradley because of the majors that they had. And so with those three schools, LaDon was like, man, you probably got your best shot making it at Bradley if you go over there and you just try to walk onto the team. And so I was like, all right, bet. So then, man, my dad drove up to Bradley, took a highlight tape. He took a highlight tape to a random exhibition game they was having up there. And I remember one of the ushers was like, oh, man, so what are you doing up here, blah, blah. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm trying to get on the team. And he looked at me. And at that time, I was like 5'7", 5'8". I hadn't grown. He looked at me. He was like, man, you can't make the team at Bradley. And I was like, oh, okay. So we gave the coach the tape. I'm quite sure he threw it away. And so when I got to Bradley, man, I mean, I went there mostly for the academics, but I tried out for the team, and I did not make the team my first year there, my freshman year. They were like, so, you can stick around, you can be a manager. And so they gave me a managerial position, man. I was washing jock straps and jerseys and passing out water bottles and wiping up sweat my freshman year at Bradley. And so people thought some people thought I was a preferred walk-on. There was nothing preferred about the process, bro. I was a legitimate manager. Timeout come, you putting the chairs down, you making sure guys get towels. That was my life my freshman year. And that was a humbling experience, man, because I'm looking around the country. I see Drew at Belmont. I see Jared at Louisville, Anthony at UNI, Booker at SIU Carbondale, Therese at Carbondale, Hobbs at Missouri State, Ken Brown Western Kentucky. I'm looking around all these guys I played with, and they all got offers D1 scholarships, and they playing, and I'm up here wiping sweat off the floor and waking up and filming games, bro. And so that was the most humbling experience of my life, honestly. But I just stuck with it, man. And y'all know Dave well. That was my roommate.
Yeah.
We was just in the gym grinding, man. Like we would go to the student center. He would rebound for me, and I would get up, all the jumpers I could.
Hey, this is a movie. We're gonna make this movie one day.
Bro, listen, like he was in there getting jumpers and rebounding for me, man. And I played intramurals to stay in shape. And then guys on the team on Bradley, they just started going down. Like people started getting hurt. Our starting point guard, Sammy Maniscalco, he got hurt. And they was running out of players. Dudes started getting concussions. Coach was like, hey, we need you to get in this drill.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, okay, bet. So now I'm in the drill. They want you to break the zone. So they in the 1-3-1. Boom, get me. I get it. Boom, boom. We break the zone. Okay, you can play a little bit. So then, the Coach Les started having me play against his son because his son was in high school. He just wanted me to play against his son one-on-one just to,
get some
improve his skills. But at the same time, those are reps in front of the head coach. And so he sees what I'm doing. So the summertime come, guys graduate, they get another spot open. They're like, all right, we want you to come up for the summer for like a couple weeks before we go to Brazil, work out. And so now I'm practicing. I ain't even tried out again yet. I'm just practicing with them and doing drills and everything, give them an extra body, give them extra looks. That same summer, I'm in St. Louis. I'm working out every day with Daryl Wells. 5 days a week, we in the gym. I come back to school. I probably put on like 10 pounds of muscle. I tried out, made the team. And I mean, my sophomore year, I didn't get many minutes. My junior year, more people get hurt. The game before, we played Duke. Like Enriquez goes down. Bro, it's crazy. It's like a movie. When I look back at it, it's real life movie, bro. One of our starting guards goes down. Coach takes me to the locker room like, yo, we're going to need you to play against Duke.
You Kurt Warner.
I mean, bro, I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to make it seem like I went out there and scored 40 points, man. I didn't get that many minutes. I got on the court, you know what I mean? Before mop-up minute time. I mean, I was in there in the first half, bro.
We was on Kings Highway with you, bro. So it's like, you playing that too. It don't matter if it was 2 seconds.
It don't matter, bro. You get to certain, if you play in certain places, it's like it don't matter. It don't matter.
You should coach K-Hand in a competition. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all know what's crazy? Y'all know who was on that team? So who was on that team? They had Kyle Singler. They had what's the guard? Nolan something. Nolan Smith was on that team, bro. They had.
That's the championship team.
Kyle, no, because they had, you know who else they had? Kyrie Irving. He was hurt.
Oh.
Kyrie was on that team.
Kyrie year.
Because that was Kyrie. It was Seth Curry was on that team. They had both Plumlee brothers.
So Nolan Smith wasn't on there then. Nolan Smith.
He wasn't on there? Y'all sure?
No, we know for sure. I got on 2 pants right now. I know for sure. That's our whole thing. I know.
I think I got a picture. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Greg Paulus in them, or it was Greg Paulus before him. No, there was been.
No, Greg Paulus before them.
It's Kyrie.
Okay.
That was Kyrie.
My year. If you was that much, so that was your junior year.
Yeah.
That was my junior year.
My freshman year.
Nolan Smith and them were like 2010. They won.
I think he might have been a senior though. We got to check that. But anyway, I just know they had a crazy team. Yeah.
High school 07 because he a year older than Brandon Jennings. Remember when Brandon Jennings cried against
D-Rose
and them on TV?
Yep.
I remember that.
Okay, either way.
But yeah, man, that was either way, man. It was crazy. But I got on the team, man. I mean, I got on the court that game, and bro, I did not have a name on the back of my jersey.
You didn't.
So I'm at Duke on national TV. With number 0 or 30, whichever number I had on, I had no name on the back of my jersey, fam.
0. I'm pretty sure it was 0.
Dude, looking like a creative player, bro. Looking like a creative player on the. Hey, but this is the crazy thing, though. The very next game we played, I'm warming up, and the president of the university walks up to me and was like, "I saw that. Never again. It's never gonna happen again while I'm here." And the very next game, I had my name on the back of my jersey. And ever since then, they started putting names on the back of walk-ons jerseys. Until recently, where they just stopped putting names on everybody's jersey. But
I'm telling you, I was watching the game. You went out there, you started sitting down, bro. You was sitting down out there, bro. It was like, this. He's just sitting down. Like, you don't play. It was like, it was noticeable like you was in the game because it was like, you don't be playing. It was like, oh, but he could hoop because you was out like you was like, I'm hooping for real.
That's what's crazy is like we just was talking about like St. Louis. I feel like per capita we got the best hoopers. Like per number of people in the country, if you take our best 20 and they best 20, like everybody you know here, even the people who not the highly touted people, was cold, bro. And I think a lot of talent got missed, and I think our age bracket set the stage for what's going on right now, in a way, on the recruiting tip. You know what I'm saying? Because now kids getting the love. We having a lot more kids go than before, in my opinion. You know?
I mean, it's
always guys, though.
St. Louis is crazy, man, because it's such a small city. It's a big city, but it's a small city. Mm-hmm. And so everybody knows everybody, you know, that knows somebody. And so if you hoop in St. Louis, people know you, know of you, you know, if you got a certain level of skill. And so, like, you're right. I mean, during them summers when I'm coming back trying to work my way up the lineup, trying to get more minutes and whatnot, I'm playing against guys who are overseas. You know, the Bonner League, when it was called the Bonner League, was still going. So we had a team in there. We were not that good because we didn't have, you know,
No
All
pros.
these, we didn't have pros on our team. We had a lot of guys who were still in college, and we weren't like, we were trying our best out there, but at the same time, it made us better. You out there and compete. You're not trying to lose by 30, 40. And so every summer I went there. Then I played with head team when it went to Cardinal Ritter, and that team was better. But we were older, you know what I mean? And we had more talent on that team, a little bit older guys. And so I think St. Louis, man, is a special place for basketball talent, and I think it's starting to show.
Yeah.
Like, back when I was growing up, we were growing up in high school. I mean, we had dudes making mixtapes and putting them on YouTube. You get 30 views, 40 views, 100 views. Now, I mean, guys get on Twitter, Instagram for a little crossover.
100,000
A little
followers.
crossover in the past. And they had like 10,000 followers, man. Dude hit a three, hit another three, hit another three. He on ESPN, bro. So, I mean, it's just so much easier to get recruited. And these kids are, not saying that they're not talented, because these guys are talented, but the looks are different now. A lot of kids have the opportunity to not have to work. It was hard trying to go blow up back in St. Louis back then.
That's something I was going to ask you too, like, academically, and I want to get into kind of like your doctor stuff too or whatever. But academically, like you said, we were prepared for that next level as far as like school goes. Like, what was that like for you to go from like no gym basically at Metro to now you got like facilities and stuff like that? Like, how was that?
Yeah, like you
bro, it was crazy. Like, man, like I would go to the gym as much as I could. I mean, I would be up there getting shots in as much as I could, because like I said, man, I came there, I was a water boy. And like I'm looking at the team, I'm like, man, like I can play at this level. I just got to get stronger, and I got to find a way to fit, because everybody, people think, when you go to schools, that whatever you did at the previous level is going to translate to the next level. And that's not necessarily true for everybody. Like in high school, I could score. I average almost, 26 points a game my senior year. At that level, it wasn't meant for me to be a scorer. I mean, I went to the gym and I got up all my shots. When I get in the game, they wouldn't fall, but you got to be able to get on the court. And so I started seeing what I could do, and I was strong. I was quick and fast. So now what? Defense. So now, when they need to stop, who they going to put? They put me in and put me on to somebody. So by like my senior year at Bradley, man, I became a starter, man. Like I'm starting at this school over guys who have gotten scholarships because of my role. I'm in crunch time because of what I can do defensively. I remember a game we played against Leon at SEMO, and it was our first game on our campus in like 20 years or something like that, because we didn't have a
two.
Huh?
That was a good team they was on too.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Leon led NCAA in field goal percentage, man. And so I remember we needed to stop. We was up by 1 point, and coach looked at me and was like, "Charonn, come up." Though I had to pick up this dude full court, no fouls because they was in bonus. Pick up full court, guard for 10 seconds, full court, and got to stop. And we won the game. That was my first post game interview in my college career. But you got to find a way to get on the court, man. And so having those facilities, having a steady weightlifting regimen, kind of improved me as an athlete, and I think that kind of took me to the next level.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. So how long? I know you pretty much had been decided that you wanted to be a doctor for a while, like even like you knew what made you want to be a doctor.
Man, so I think being at Metro was unique because you get to kind of experience, the full gamut of academics and what you're good at, and what drives you. For me, I knew that I didn't want people to tell me what I was doing was not sufficient. So I could write, but I didn't like English because that's a subjective thing to me in my mind. I felt like numbers and science were things that you can't dispute. Like it's gravity is gravity. If you step out on the ladder and you 20 feet in the air, you're going to fall. So that's what kind of drew me to science. And then, I started to do shadowing a little bit. And I shadowed a couple therapists and some physicians and was like, man, I think I want to do medicine because I like being around people. I want to, help people. And so that's kind of what drew me into medicine. And so it was tough at Bradley, dude. Like, again, you have to be self-driven. We didn't have a pre-med coordinator, advisor. Yeah. So there were certain things I didn't know I needed to do that I had to do last minute. I took my MCAT during my junior year, going in my senior year. While I'm working at camp, I'm studying in the library. just picked up a book and just started trying to read it cover to cover. Like I didn't take any classes, anything. Just took the test, got what I needed to get, but it was a tough path because there was nobody. I mean, there's not many black physicians that I knew growing up besides my pediatrician, and so it was tough.
Yeah, man. Now that's discipline, bro. Like you said, as for a doctor, every year school is getting harder. And then on top of that, now you're going from manager to starting playing on the basketball team because that D1 schedule is grueling. You know what I'm saying? What they require of your time, like you are owned by like your time is their time because it's their job. So it's just
I'm all for like people getting paid in college after living that life. Like, especially if you're like at Alabama where you obviously are generating millions and millions of dollars. Like
a professional franchise at that point.
You're a professional franchise, and like you say, man, you're an employee. So I was on an academic scholarship, so at any given time I could just be like, you know what, I'm gonna quit. But if you are on a sports scholarship, athletic scholarship, you are an employee essentially. Yes, you're a student, but you know, if you don't make that practice, you know what I mean? If you don't make that practice, there might be something that happens to you in terms of more reps after practice or more, you know, something like that. And so we got to schedule all our classes before everybody. So either you're waking up super early or you're taking your classes super late. You got to do workouts twice a day sometimes. So now you're waking up early, go to class, come back, shower, eat, weights, you know what I mean? Lift, practice, come back, go to class, come back. Now you got to study. It's 5:00 at night. You've been up since 6, and you've been doing like workouts, like so, and that's every day. That's every day for 7 months at a time. Every day. There's no off season. Even when there's an off season, you still going to open gym. You still lifting weights. You still doing cardio, and so I mean, you might get maybe 2 months off. 2, you might, because you coming back in the summertime. Individuals, open gym, weights, taking summer classes. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah. No, like you said, it's like, have you seen that HBO documentary, The Scheme, yet?
Bro, I had to turn that off, man. It was frustrating, dude. Like, it was frustrating. It was frustrating how they took the dude down.
Yeah, man. They just was on BS. But like you said, it's just a big scheme. Like NCAA in total, it's just like it's like a crime. It's a crime, literally. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I didn't play on the team at Mizzou. I ended up trying out my freshman year too. And that's how I ended up getting with the girls team. Because at the time, Mike Anderson didn't do practice teams. I wonder if he still don't, but I think that was something he just was like, I don't do practice teams. And so just seeing like how much time, like being around another program, it just was like you said, Mizzou, it was Big 12 at the time, women's, men's, you know, all the SEC. It was like, man, Kim English was owned by Mizzou. Marcus Demon and them, it was like you said, go to school, do this, be a public figure at the school in front of 20,000.
I was about to say, that's another thing that goes unmentioned, man. These dudes get put on billboards. You do radio spots. Sometimes you do some TV spots. You got to go do, you know, public service. So you're going to read to kids. You're going to visit kids in the hospital. You know, so that's great stuff. I'm not saying that none of that stuff is bad. I'm not saying you should get paid to go do the public service stuff. But that's still time away from school.
Yeah, and you really needed to study. Like, some people could just be taking advanced algebra or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever you was taking being a doctor. Like, you know. So your time was even more.
I mean, everybody's major, exactly. Your majors are different. And I mean, it's a reason why, you know, a lot of the student athletes take certain majors, because they allow themselves, you know, the schedule is different. Like, my school was an engineering school, and I knew we had a couple guys who tried to walk on and did walk on, but eventually that engineering schedule is even more rigorous than pre-med, because there's only certain times that those labs are open and you got to get there, and you could not stay on the team because academics would not allow you to.
Yeah, man. So how was it like, you know, now transitioning into being a doctor, reaching that goal, moving to a new city, new part of the world? We came to your wedding. Well, we came late to your wedding.
Yeah, 'cause
Hey, that was a crazy day. That was a crazy day. A lot of people was late, man. It was
I had the most fun
crazy.
I've ever had at a wedding, bro. Like no cap, like I really had fun at that wedding. It was good.
Yeah, man. But to answer your question, it's tough, man. Like, so I went to SLU, St. Louis University Med School. You know, it was good to be home. But at the same time, there are a lot of there's much more improvement that we could see in terms of black males and you know minorities, specifically African Americans, getting into medicine. When I was there, I want to say there were maybe almost 170 plus people in my class. There were 2 black guys in the whole class. There were 6 black students in a class like 170 some people. And so during that time while I was SLU, I was trying to figure out how I could help, you know, give back to my community. Because one of the reasons I went to SLU is to try to give back. And so there was a document that was published, and it basically said there were more African American males in med school back in like the early 60s and 70s than there were in the early 2000 teens. Like 50 years ago, there were more black males in medicine with all the barriers and all that stuff going on than there were in recent history. And so I was trying to figure out what I could do. So I started some programs, some shadowing programs and stuff. Went back to Metro, went to CA, went to, you know, all various schools. What's the school behind Metro? SLU now it's called School of Arts and Sciences. I forget what it's called. I'm drawing a blank on it. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. The
Metro?
it's behind SLU now. It's right there across the street from Cardinal Glennie. It's like math and science or something like that. But anyway, that school had just opened up, so I got to get some contacts with them. And so that's what I was doing while I was there, just trying to create a program to kind of increase the matriculation into med school, man. So that process was rigorous. It's difficult because you don't have black male role models, obviously, in the situation. I do have to give thanks to Dr. Michael Rayleigh, who was there. He was our dean of diversity. And so he was always in my corner. You know, Miss Collette, she was always in my corner. So there were different people that were there to kind of help me through. And I think that's the thing that, you know, when people think about successful people, I think that what people don't often appreciate is the people that help them become successful. Like it's a book called Outliers. And if you read it, you really kind of see how time and opportunity need to be there for people to succeed. You know what I mean? And so I think that's something that I took into consideration as I was trying to go through med school and trying to give back to the city of St. Louis while I could, you know?
Yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's what you talking about is guidance. And that's that me and Ryan talk about a lot is like you could be putting time and intending to do a lot of stuff. We was intending to win state and intending to do a lot, you know what I mean? But it's like the process and the wisdom of somebody around who has been through that process is big. And, you know, I seen that I actually got back into coaching, bro. I'm finna bring Metro to where it need to be, bro. Like it's my call and my duty.
Yeah.
And it's for that same
definitely, man.
Like we got to give back to them kids, and because we know what they've been through. Whereas, like, if you a kid our age, nobody know what it's like to be like a gifted black kid in St. Louis, moving around trying to, like, you know, get to uncharted territory. The things that you was doing, the things that Ryan done in the marketing firm, and you know what I'm saying, what we done did with Souls, it's like, it's no blueprint for that. Whereas, like, with other backgrounds, it's like networks.
It's tough, man. It definitely, I feel like, you know, that's why sometimes it feels like it's a lot of pressure the higher you go, but it's good pressure though, because you know that you don't want to ever go high and not put the ladder back down for somebody to climb up behind you. You know what I mean? You don't ever want to, you know, get to the top and not send the elevator back down. And so I think that, you know, it takes effort, but it also has to take, you know, it takes time. And I think that's a big thing that people really don't ever consider, or maybe that's the thing they do and that stops people from putting in the time. So like when I was describing that program I was designing, it eventually became an actual summer program where they actually went to both medical school campuses, both SLU and WashU, to shadow at WashU, go take classes at SLU. This is high school kids, you know, black males in St. Louis City, never been done before. That took weeks, man, months of planning, talking to doctors, networking. And that type of stuff is, if that's something that you prize, if you really prize and you really want to see people come up, you got to take that time, you got to take that effort. And all that stuff's not going to be publicized. You're not going to always get on the news. You're not going to be on the newspaper, but you got to do it for a higher calling.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
A man of principle.
What's up, bro? Yeah, man. So we always end our show asking people their top 5 hoopers. We've been keeping it St. Louis or whatever city you from. So you got to give us your top 5.
My top 5.
What'd you say? Yeah,
man, y'all done put me on the spot, man. Top 5. So off top, I'm just gonna name Brad and and Jason. It's off top because right now they just killing it in the NBA. They just killing it right now.
Yeah.
So that's 2 people off top. Now my other 3, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna say Alex Barnett. Sleeper pick. He was cold. He was cold at Carden Redden, man. I really like Alex game. I grew up around Coach Durham, them team, the pros, and Alex was cold. So he's up there.
And he went to an Ivy League school too. So
he went to Ivy League school, man, and that's exactly, he was admirable, man. Went to Ivy League school. Dartmouth he balled out, played overseas. I think he does high level accounting or something like that now. Like he used that degree. I mean, he's doing it in the workplace now. Let's see, this is in no particular order either. I'm gonna say Dwayne Polk, man, because if you're a guard growing up in St. Louis,
yeah,
and that's another thing, man. I feel like the young guys just don't know their history in St. Louis, bro. Like I feel like they think when Twitter started, that's when all the hoopers began in St. Louis, man. Like, hey, it's some hoopers that came to St. Louis, man, like some gangsters that guys just don't acknowledge, man. That's 4 people. I'm gonna stay with the V boy. Listen, Joey Shelton, one of the best guards out of St. Louis. If Joey Shelton was growing up now in St. Louis, he'd be at Duke. He'd be a blue blood because he was that good to me, man. He was nice. And so that's 5 right there.
You the second Joel. That's the second Joel that we didn't got. Joel done got some love the last episode.
Yeah. He was
cold. The thing is, you gotta my cousin Lorenzo Scott, he went to Luther North. And so he played with Tony Irons, that coaches at the V now. So I grew up around Tony and everything like that. And so they used to play them because his dad, Coach Irons, of course, was at the V. And so I was in the building when that V team was playing and had Jimmy McKinney and all those guys. And Joey was nice, man. Yeah. So I think that's my top 5. It's kind of V heavy, but I watched a lot of Vashon games growing up.
I feel you, bro. Like, hey, I feel you. I feel you 100%. And they the best basketball program in our, the most winningest program in our city's history. So it's like, if you're going to talk about St. Louis basketball, it's hard to not put them. And it's good. Shout out to Tony Irons. It's good. We got to get Tony on here, but it's good to see everybody come back to the program and continue.
Yeah, he's definitely returned the former glory.
When we put this out, whoever's still watching at the 57-minute mark, Metro going to state one day. I'll put that. It's gonna be so funny because I've seen the impossible happen before. The impossible that happened before.
I'm usually a humble guy, but I'm gonna say, watch me work, bro. I got a skill for development, bro. I could teach.
It's about X's and O's at the high school level, man. If you can get your kids to execute and you just get you 1 or 2 good players.
And for me, and 2, I'm happy about the brotherhood. Like even talking to you, like, it's made my day. This conversation, just like, bro, like, we special people. We got to continue to grow. And like you said, the elevator, we got to send it down.
Got to send it down, man. Yep. Got to send it down. I appreciate y'all, man, having me. I did not anticipate, coming on here looking like this, but, I got to wear that mask. Got to wear the mask to protect against the COVID, man. Not trying to get sick.
I need one more thing for you before you go, my brother.
Yeah.
Your top 5 rappers, bro.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Oh man.
To the hop on a different. People don't know you a aficionado, if that's the word, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
They don't know.
So what's
Oh,
up,
man?
So my top 5, I'm gonna say my top 5 is not like everybody's top 5 because I'm not gonna name other people's top 5. Like some of these people might not even appear in radar. So I'm gonna start with Lil Wayne because when we were growing up,
Okay.
Lil Wayne was the hottest, walking the earth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Lupe Fiasco because
Let's
Lupe
go.
wordplay is insane. I still listen to him now, man. I think his most recent was like Drogus Wave. Go and listen to that album. Kanye pre Kim Kardashian.
That's fine.
That's cool.
That's fine. That's a lot of music.
It's a lot of music. I mean,
for real. I mean,
that's a lot of music. Who else do I listen to a lot of? Man, I gotta put Drake in there, dog. I gotta put Drake in there.
Try not to.
I mean, it's impossible. He just makes too many hits,
Yeah, if Wayne in there, you gotta put Drake in there.
You gotta put them two in there. And dag, number 5. That's tough. I'm not gonna say Jay-Z. I'm not gonna say Jay-Z because I just don't listen to Jay like that. I can't say that because I haven't even listened to all of his catalog to even list him like that.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't really have a 5th. That's
Still out there.
Okay, I mean, it could
you
be.
ain't heard your 5th.
It ain't gotta be hip hop. Name your last one could be an artist of a different genre.
Man, I gotta go on my iTunes right now because y'all put me on the spot. Because I listen to so much Wayne. I mean, I listen to a lot of old Lil Wayne. I listen to a lot of Lupe, man. Like shit.
The piece of man.
You know what? I'm gonna throw in Currency, bro. Currency is actually one of my top 5 rappers.
Okay.
Because he'll put out a tape, you listen to it, like he put out so much music, and I don't feel like he's ever missed. So I'm gonna say Currency. He in my top 5 rappers.
I like that.
That's our first Currency entrance into the top 5. And we also have Dwayne Polk making his first entrance into a top 5 basketball conversation.
Yeah.
What an interview.
There we go.
Dr. Woods.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
All right, man.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all, man.
You, man. Tell the wife and the baby what's up from the Souls.
Yeah, man. Uncle T, I'm here. If you need me, I'll come to negative 60 degrees and do whatever need to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for having me on, bro. I appreciate y'all, man. We got to connect.
Yeah, for sure. We gonna link some.
Yeah, man. We are. So we got to, bro. We got to. So yeah, man. Stay up. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, y'all. Y'all be easy.
All right, you too, man. Peace.
All right.